You can kind of see my other monitor. Love that, but do like to live dangerously. Spotify. Okay, put on some music. Quick stream today. See how things go. Got about an hour and a half. And we're gonna try. Wait, what up, bro? Some new things. Make sure there's nothing compromising being displayed. How you doing, bro? No audio? Shit. Really? Oh, I get it. You're not listening. Got it. Perfect. Yeah, don't get in trouble doing something at the work/school place. I will ignore your non-presence. Presence not required. Your presence is appreciated, but your present presence is not required. The other day, just in time for Mag stream, correct. It'll be a quick one, hour and a half. We're going to... So I had this idea even before... Or around about the same time I started doing those Optimus studies, which was from months ago. One of my guilty pleasures is Starscream, who is just so... I just love watching him get his, like, ass beat. Like, when a cowardly character just, like, gets a smackdown or whatever, it's like a guy you love to hate. He's a heel, right? In just like the a bad guy that you know, it's just he's essentially like a big baby, but he's like super conceited and thinks he's the shit. Can't wait to backstab literally anybody, and yeah, we all love it when he has his inevitable downfall. I happen to think he has one of the cooler designs. It appeals to me. I don't know if I'm in the minority. I never hear anybody talk about like, oh, I love Starscream, but I love Starscream. And it's probably one of those things where it's like, I believe I had this toy when I was a kid, but long gone, of course, now. But you know, you just like the toy that you had. You make it your own, right? So we're going to bring in a little bit of reference. Here we have just really OG Starscream reference. Embiggen it a little bit. And I have an idea for a composition. And I've already sort of quickly roughed out. I like his voice. Yeah, I have this theory I just came up with 2 seconds ago that it's the same voice as Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander is... Cobra Commander, I guess, is Chris Latta. Starscream voice actor is Chris Latta. So what do you know? What do you know about that? And maybe it is just something about that guy's voice, because he played like Cobra Commander and Starscream, same voice, same actor. It's essentially the same profile of character, and I get this at this point now. I have to do something regarding Cobra Commander now too. Let's pay a little tribute to this goated actor, right? And Starscream voice actor. actor. Cobra Commander. Voice actor. Is the same guy. Okay, so it's clear. Unseen but still heard. Yeah, obviously he's super talented. I bet he worked on a ton of shit. Okay, so we're going to hold on, I'm adjusting my headphones so that I can hear my own voice a little bit better. Some things were a little too loud. I hope music sounds okay. I hope my voice sounds okay. And we're gonna jump right in. So I had this idea of I've wanted to do a Starscream for a while. I had this idea of Starscream being viewed from a low angle, so it's like human. Hey, Ham. Drawn Transformers again today. So it's like from human height, looking up, and Starscream is just sort of like strutting around as he's glorious in victory in battle, while there's, you know, there's like a cool jet fighter zooming overhead. Maybe it's like the same jet fighter he has. I know that's like logically impossible, but I like doing it, like posing a transformer next to the thing that they have, their vehicle. And in the background there could be like, essentially it's like the area is being like carpet bombed or something like that. So it's like you're almost like the trope of like the bad guy just or anybody walking towards camera, not looking at the giant series of explosions happening behind them. That's the idea. And I came up with this pose, and it's just sort of like a classic strutting pose where we've got you know, he's sort of confidently moving towards camera. He's almost about to step on us. He isn't really like in the act of stepping on us, but like it doesn't look like he notices us. He's just sort of looking around at his with like his smug expression or something like that, and that's it. And so this is as far as I got. I did this off stream months ago, and I want to see if we can revisit it and see if there's a. Looks like he is runway ready. Yeah, he's kind of got this like, and like he's like such an arrogant character that I feel. Oh, and then so the name for this piece is air superiority, which is I guess a military term. And I heard it being bantered about like months ago or whatever like that. And then again in you know, because of all the Strait of Hormuz shit, you know, the wonderful people running our government and military have the phrase popped up in discourse again naturally, and I was reminded that I'm like, oh yeah, I had that piece and I was going to name it air superiority. And of course, like, to have an air of superiority is of course like a narcissistic trait, right? And so it's quite the double entendre of things. Okay, so that's the backstory, and so now we draw. And what I believe is that the hard work of like figuring out the pose is essentially done. I just have to sort of graft the design onto this very loose scaffolding, and I think it'll work. So let me just get the references that I need. This is of course probably all that I need. I don't want it to deviate from the cartoon design. And where it can dovetail with the toy is even better. And this kind of looks cool. Is this the real toy? Metal model kit. I don't think that's the actual toy. Just looking real quick. Is this it? Everything is paywalled. Everything is paywalled. I hate the world. No, I will not subscribe. Some of this stuff looks really cool. This is kind of the vibe. That might be enough. Okay. But we all know it's all about the cartoon. So this is the reference that I will be looking at. Make a duplicate there. All right. About an hour to get something cool happening here. I can hear a vacuum cleaner going off in the distance. That's fun. Okay. This brush might be fun. Fun departure. Okay, so let me also have a version down here that you guys can see. Right here. All right. So what I'm looking at is not this, but something up here. It's easier for me to sort of have this to transpose if I'm copying from a reference or looking at a reference. Easier to look up and down than to left and right. That's a sort of a different distortion. Just revisiting their basic proportions, they always, and it was just something I was recently realizing, is Transformers are always viewed from below. It's like you never really see them at view, like the height of the Transformers in relation to each other. Especially in the movie, like they are big fucking robots, and of course, even in the Michael Bay movies, they were huge, possibly unrealistic even for their scale, but it is so cool. So the heads, it's easy to draw them too big accidentally, and in this case, I'm definitely going to avoid doing that. But that's really just the concern is I don't want the proportions to be incorrect. So a good way to just guard against that is just really take your time thinking of the primitives. This is a tricky thing because his upper body is sort of like this V shape. So what does a V shape look like when you view it from below? The tapering end is closer to camera, right? So does it get, how do you account for that inevitable distortion? It's It's tricky. And I've noticed that the artists, Jesus Christ. See, this is going to be interesting because how can he twist his torso if like the part, if like this cockpit sort of is like his sternum plate, but it gets tucked into his underwear, which is so like how can he rotate his hips into this pose as I have it? That's going to be challenging. When the cartoon, I've looked at what the cartoonists, whether the animators and the artists that work on the cartoon, like how they would solve some of these problems, and they just fudge it. They just don't. They sort of like they run into walls with their design, and they realize it's like, oh, this is unsolvable unless we like give ourselves permission a little bit here and there. And so that's what they do, is like when they need stuff to bend, they just let it bend. You know, they don't get precious about the logic of how this stuff has to work. They don't let the logic get in the way of like what is entertaining, and that must be our solution as well. Probably for all that. But it will be tricky to find the solution on some of these things. And also, I can't get bogged down on some of these details. We really have to keep it simple to start. And also continuing to honor the design, but also the quality of decision making that went into like the rough sketch layout. Like something about that, I put it aside. I was like, let's see if I still like it in like 3 months or something like that. Came back to it. I still like it. I'm still excited to work on it. There's something about that, right? So must honor that it's resonating with me. It did not diminish, and there's a chance it will with others as well. Probably not clear from the looseness and roughness of the drawing so far, but the whole thing is viewed from below. The head is going this way, the chest is going this way, and then the pelvis is going this way. And then this foot is coming forward, and this foot is going back. Right? If this foot is coming forward, that means this arm is going back, and that means this one is coming towards camera, right? So just getting all those opposites working is a great recipe to come up with appealing, interesting, dynamic poses. This as far into thumbnail territory as we can today. We have about an hour. So it's a fun bit of ticking clock challenge. He seems to have long forearms. They all have big hands. sure that's being represented. This gun to go like that. I don't know if I can swing that. That's okay. Taking my time with this phase. Because all the other decisions will stem from it. If I get careless and I make a bunch of mistakes here, that will inevitably carry on to everything else. Already breaking. You know what? I'm gonna start over. It's just not working right. Maybe the other pin is a good idea. Not getting so tied down to the reference right now. I want to see what it is about this original sketch that feels like it's working so well. Develop into that. Because if this composition is working, but then I'm trying to fix things that I thought were broken with the design in regards to, you know, the actual character, you know, that's all good to fix it so that it fits the character, I guess. But if it breaks the composition, then it's just not going to work anyway, so why do that? So let's trust that it'll look like Starscream, even if I don't. Even if it feels like I'm emphasizing too much of this or that. Because regardless of his shape, we really want this feeling. This feeling is the feeling that trumps all... Oh, sorry. Given the narcissism, maybe that's apropos. But, you know, it's easy to look at a cartoon character and notice that all the things go in and out and go in and out and go in and out, like on the contours of the sides of the body. There's just all these little things you can see. But at this stage, you need to ignore that and just focus on this kind of feeling. That's the vibe. Focusing on that will help things along. Definitely some challenges involved in this one that I was kind of hoping this would be a little bit of a softball, but yeah, this is definitely more challenging for me than I initially thought it would be. That means I must win. Will not admit defeat. But I think it's a great sign that there's lots for me to learn on a piece like this, right? One interesting problem will be like we're gonna see a lot of his, you know, sort of crotch here, you know. So how do we design so that it feels like we're not getting more than a normal amount of crotch given the angle, right? I think lighting will solve problems like that pretty well for us. Hey, Danny. Just doing a quick one. Nice to see you too, man. Yeah, and I think I'm going to solve the problem of the gun arm by just sort of making it clear that they're not rigid, you know? So they can spin on a turret and move about a bit. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, the angle is cool. I have to be extremely smart about how this is going to test my knack for drawing stuff in a way that makes flaws in the design unnoticeable, or any visual inconsistencies must be invisible, or not really noticeable, and not detract from the composition. Like, a good composition will basically save anything that feels visually inconsistent. Definitely going to need some time to work out some of these kinks in the crotch area. The more I think about it, the more sus the fan art it gets. The fan art I'm doing, or the fan art you're getting? Yeah, the stuff you're getting, yeah. Hopefully I can give you some encouragement that it's a good sign that people are getting, I mean, at least they have an opinion, at least they have a vested interest. I think it's a good sign. Yeah, I mean, at least they're excited, but yeah, there's a difference between different kinds of excitement, you know? Or you can be doomer about it, you know. What's that? We're gonna take a little quick sidetrack. What is it like? Doomer, Wojak. Who's this guy? Yeah. Oh, it's this guy. Cursed Wojak. Yeah. Cursed Wojak. This thing, right? This is like Danny. Danny like posts like awesome, great cartoon, great characters, and people use it for like gooner bait. It's like that's not what that is. When you realize anything can be gooner bait. Anyway, goes with the territory, I guess. What are those emoji? I don't know what. I can't see what they are. Sorry. Move his head. Sort of subtle. Crying emojis? Okay, yeah. That feeling when you realize why your fan art is so popular. I can see it. It'll when in the future it'll be like I'll look on Twitter and I'll be like, I wonder what's trending today. And it's like controversy is sparked when the debate begins over whether or not popular independent cartoon creator Danny Gonzalez's characters are fair game to be sexualized or something like that. And what'll happen is you'll get like people defending you, but like they're like evil, wrong people. You know, you're like, they'll be like, he has every right to draw sexual content of these, you know, characters, and you'll be like, no, that's not it. They're like, and then they're like, no, don't apologize, okay? You're not in the wrong. You're like, that's not what I meant. the idea that you would become successful enough to be, you know, to be controversial, to like have anything qualify as controversy, it would be still a good thing. I mean, that would mean that, you know, it would be, there would be a downside to it, but it's like you've arrived. You've arrived and you're canceled. And you're canceled. Wonder if this is gonna be just the, I guess this is just me trying to make a robot do what it might not be able to do very well. It's like, that's on me, but I don't know. It's like, if it can't work out, well, you learn something, but yeah, I guess that's the so I know, I'd say you guys wouldn't believe it, but I know you will believe it. In my time since posting, especially my like the piece I did of Rodimus Prime, the Arise, you know, that piece was pretty popular. It got sent around, and you know, so some creators were following me, and so, you know, I'd look and I'd follow them back, and I would see there's a lot of very goony, a lot of erotic Transformers content out there, a lot of it. And so there is a good possibility that there might be some of that appeal here. Yeah, a lot of popular Transformers artists do tend to be like fan fiction accounts. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen like images of like Optimus and Megatron like making out and stuff. Big hands, all that underwear on the outside, crotches right in the face. The rise of the Transformer Gooner is it's inevitable. I've seen pregnant Megatron with whom you would assume is Optimus, or is it pregnant Optimus with Megatron's baby? It's like, wow, that's so that's something I won't be drawing. But yeah, I had heard about Mpreg up to that point, but I'd never like actually seen it in the wild. And seeing it on Transformers fan art was not on my bingo card. I did not search for it. It was on an Instagram, and it's sort of interesting because it's like, because they're like robots or whatever, like the Instagram content filter is like not, it's not tripping the con. So I guess it's sort of like, if like goony sexy robots are your thing, social media is not stopping them. Do you believe in life after love? Starts playing, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna have to implement a kind of solution here. Just sort of like cut into this chest here a little bit. Something that feels like I have to suggest a design solution for myself that introduces a plane that isn't visible here, like in the references, but that will basically solve my problem. Like a connection point at the waist that like if Transformers fans spot it, and that's a big if, they'd be like, oh well, he did that to solve the problem, that it would be obvious to anybody who was familiar enough with that character. And I've noticed that if I change things, but like the change is done in a way where the picture itself is still beautiful, no one even notices it. Chonky boy, chonky boxy Transformers. Yeah, this is a bit of an hey Namina, this is an interesting challenge for me to have to adhering to what I love most about Starscream is just this like great G1 design, but also how it's limited in the posing, but then also not letting that stop me from creating a piece that I really want to make. Have to forgive me if I take some liberties. I'm just gonna have to be that way. great post. Thank you. I'm really trying to. I drew this initial pose months ago, and then I set it aside to work on other stuff. And this is me now coming back to it. Like, do I still love it? Is it still goated? And it's like, yes, I do still like this. Let's make this happen. Now my the Optimus studies I just posted did not explode. They did not like go viral, and that's okay. I'm not gonna take it personally if those and for me, like doing studies, that's a little bit like low effort. That's nothing I'm super disappointed in. I was like, oh, people don't like my stuff or whatever. I wouldn't call it like max slop, but it definitely was sort of like a filler content and a feeler content, you know. And I do like to sort of test the waters a little bit, like, oh, let's see if people respond to this. I think that it's safe to say that people like that stuff, but they don't love it. Like, that's not like... It was good, but it wasn't like scroll-stoppingly good. Exactly, and I some posts are for the artist's soul, not the viewers. Yeah, I do like to send a signal that, like, I'm not just... I'll put out something that is... Sometimes what I'll post is fan service, but make it clear from time to time that this is ultimately a max service, you know, account. I saw a few ones where it was like Transformers, but like they had like noticeably enhanced bosoms, right? So I think, you know, if I want shares and likes, I need to make sure that there's something for the audience in that regard. It's subtle, but I need this hand to be... There can be a lot of communication in just a fist or a hand, even a balled fist, like it's all balled up, can communicate a lot of like the mood and energy, and there's some subtlety that's called for here. So I don't want to just give him like these are very well designed hands happening here. Like his hands are sort of closed up, but they're not like tight, you know? Some of that I want to get into this. But there is an appropriate amount of showboating called for in his posing here. So we're gonna have to allow for that. I know you guys are sweet to come onto these streams at all, because I know that it's like I draw out a scale and a size where you can barely even see anything that's happening. But it also sort of shows that like you can appreciate a drawing's composition even at a squished down scale. And there's a lesson there, so it's all for the education. Drawings do not have to be big in order to be successful. Learning too much during streams just making me stronger. Hopefully there's a grain of truth to that. I'm not sure. I know that I learn a lot. And it's of course by my own design, but I am sort of like putting myself into these scenarios where it's like, well, I'll embarrass myself if I don't figure this out, so let's figure it out. Alright, we got 20 minutes left to go. So far, I'm feeling pretty good about this. It definitely has some of these challenges happening, like I was worried about, but I really appreciate the in-the-moment audience feedback, like people liking the pose. I think it's a strong concept. The air superiority, I think that's a fun little play on words. And then not yet pictured is the cool jet that I'll probably try and rough in really quickly before end of stream. So maybe the next minute or so. This would probably be a fun one to work on stream. So I should consider it. Especially it's like, this isn't associated with any kind of a contest or deadline or anything. It's just completely arbitrary, kind of for fun. It's a little absurd. And I'm certainly not in danger of doing anything that, you know, I don't have to like look up what a naked woman looks like or something like that on stream. So I'm unlikely to run afoul of anything. It'll be safe for streaming. So you can imagine, like, in the background, this is the basic lay-in of the character now. So in the background, we could have like all kinds of it's just being sort of like true to the character's view of himself, which is that like he's this powerful warlord or something like that, even though he's a complete coward. And when he does like fight, like he like fucks everything up. I was rewatching the movie the other day, and there was this funny scene where like he's like trying to, you know, they're freaking doing this blitzkrieg on the Autobots base, and they're like closing the hatches or something like that, and then Starscream like tries to get in, but he like, or he, oh yeah, he's like trying to get out or something like that, and his the hatches are closing, so he's like at the last second his like foot gets caught, and he's got to he's like pulling on it. It's like he has no choice but to like blast his own foot off. Not his foot, but like his toes, basically. He has to point his gun at his toes. And pretty funny moment there. Like there's like carpet bombing going on in the background. There's just a bunch of debris. I don't think I'll need to like put in a bunch of specific things. Maybe something that could look like ruins of buildings or whatever. So maybe necessary to specify what media that is, but it might help give a sense of scale. We'll see. And then in the background, now we have to figure out what kind of jet doesn't punt a mailbox. That is a $250,000 fine. You know, for all the propaganda for the like fucking with it's like a felony to like steal mail. And of course it is. Like, and like the reputation of the Postmaster General is that they like are the like, you know, like they don't fuck around. Like they're like the FBI kind of like thing. The amount of mail that gets stolen in my neighborhood is like insane. So it's like, which is it? Is it just totally fine just to bust into people's mailboxes and steal shit, or is it like the, you know? Because I was like, I guess if they choose to come down on you, it's a big deal, but or whatever, or they can. But like in my experience, just like in observance of stuff, it's like, no, literally crime is free apparently. All right, I'm just gonna quickly look up what kind of jet is Starscream. Starscream is most famously a McDonnell Douglas F-15 fighter Eagle fighter jet in the original Generation 1. And that looks to be correct. So cool. All right, let's see here. Not interested in AI mode. Yeah, look how fucking cool that is. I'll bring this over here just so we can. It's too petty a crime to pursue. It probably is. Like, it would consume all of their resources to chase down everybody like stealing mail that in 99% of the cases isn't worth anything. But it's still pretty it just has me going like, well then, so which is it, you know? And I feel like this is kind of the angle I want. Not that I want to just like rip off a photo, but so I'm seeing a couple of options here. And I think this is the winner because, oh, you guys, it's too small. But like if this was here, even though like it would sort of imply that it was like banking or doing a barrel roll or whatever, because obviously like if we're on the ground looking up, the plane is sort of inverted if it's doing like this maneuver, but it's still pretty cool. And I think it'll fit the composition right. So let me lay this in, and I don't mind using a pixelated reference like this because I'm goated, so I don't need. So here's a little kind of a tip: is if you are having trouble seeing it's so small, yeah. If you are having trouble with like a portrait or what this does is it forces me to not see details, because obviously like a jet is an infinitely complex thing with all these little nooks and crannies and rivets and shit. If I can see all that information is sort of gonna get in my head, and I might be tempted or pulled by those different bits of details. Whereas this is actually engaging my imagination and showing me a little bit more of like an approach to like an abstraction, right? I don't see any detail in the shadows. I don't see any details in these highlights, right? Interesting. This works with people too. Like if you see all the strands of hair and the eyelashes on a person, like all that stuff is distracting. It's like maybe start your drawing with like a shitty zoomed out pixelated reference. You know, if you can sort of start there loosely and get that to look good, then go back and look at it, like the details and stuff, and then add those in. But at least you won't be tempted to like nail perfect tiny details if you can't see them at the beginning. And that's just something I've learned over years of like clients giving me references, and it's like a screenshot of a screenshot. Like they're not even doing their job, so it's like I have to learn to work with like the world's worst inputs sometimes, and sometimes there's a benefit to that. Quick save here. I'm sure the jet is going to be super challenging for me, so you know, I won't worry about nailing it. It's more about like where, like the finding its place in the composition. And the next step on this is actually to like set all this aside and then sleep on it. Just move on to a different one. So this won't be like the next thing I finish. You know, it's cool to get it to like a stage of advancement today, but I do not want to finish this next. I want to take my time and sleep on this a little bit, because this is an original composition, and I think it's a cool idea. I want to see if I can sell it through. Smell the legs with this one. I think it will be cool. There's a lot about this that I think will appeal to many different fans who love Dagoon to Starscream. Will find opportunities here. Fans who love the cool action and the toys will find much to like here. Fans who just like cool art and compositions will find something cool here. So yeah, the gooning must be accepted as a force of nature. It's like the tide. Right? I know in like some countries in South America and maybe even other continents, there are like ants that will just sort of like, they just march along, and then like at a certain time of day, like the ants will reliably like come into a neighborhood and then go and come into people's houses and then start sort of like finding little bits of detritus and debris. And it's like, it would freak you the fuck out if you didn't know that you could expect them, anticipate them, and that they're not moving in permanently. They're just there to do their one job, which is to goon. I mean, clean the you know, get all that little bits of like crap that, you know, the crumbs that you drop. And yeah, you like that? You know, the cookie crumbs in your bed or whatever that like, you don't have to clean them up. The ants will get them. You know, it's like the dog doesn't mind. It's like you become attenuated to it and you just sleep through it. Like the dog doesn't wake up. Like, you know, the baby's just sleeping as the ants are crawling all over the place or whatever. I've heard about this. This is not something I've seen, but my friend travels a lot. He's seen it, so. I've read about it too. Anyway, don't fear the gooner. The gooning is in their nature. must leverage the dependability of the gooner to our advantage. Yes. Ally with the gooner.